Hey everyone, this is Lori from Craggy Brook, and I wanted to do a different type of video today. I'm not going to talk about the cards individually. I'm going to be talking more about a person that's been very influential in my life. And I just wonder if anyone out there who sees the station has ever run across someone they didn't know, they made a connection. But there's that sort of feeling that you've been connected before in a heartfelt way, in a healing way, in a metaphysical way. And it's that connection between you and the other soul that is just so magical. I'm just going to be flipping through cards as I speak because this was gifted to me from the very person that I'm talking about. And I won't mention her name because I don't have her permission, but she did gift me this deck. And we met, probably 6 years ago or more. And it was one of those instances where she had a metaphysical store. I wanted to do some readings. And she said, yes, I could do it. And she bent over backwards and opened all the doors and made it a very safe and comfortable atmosphere for me to work in. Now, I'll just say a little bit about the deck in that, as I say, this was gifted to me by her. And it says on the back, the images of the deck of tarot were digitized from public domain sources and or private collections. And that they were then optimized to reproduce the appearance and colors as faithful to the originals as possible during the printing process. So this is the deck we're going to be looking at as I talk a little bit. We'll call it a walk and a talk today. It does come with a little booklet. That's the cover card, and there is the back. So as I say, when you find a magical connection between you and another soul, it can be quite interesting, a little bit jarring. I never found it uncomfortable. With this woman, I felt very at ease, although I felt also that she probably was a teacher of mine at one time. I always think of her as the high priestess. So let's get to that card. Well, we'll just wait for it to turn up. But when you meet someone and even their face, their energy, it connects with you in a way that you know deep down that maybe in another lifetime, you've practiced some healing magic together before. You've possibly studied even ritual magic, and there's that flash and pulse of a healing energy that stirs and really comes to life. And it brought it all back again to me just the other day because this woman and myself connected on FaceTime. Neither one of us are super computer literate. My husband helped us out. And we talked for a little bit, but she had pulled some cards for herself. And because they were all majors, she wanted me to offer some help. And we talked about the cards a little bit, but as soon as I shuffled the cards to bring some other element and meaning to it, that same sort of tingling, that energy that sort of shifts within you came back again. And we weren't even in the same room. We were just hearing each other's voices and connecting. But it traveled from her to me, and it was like, it's still there, that same energy that I felt when I read for her in her store, when she came to my home and we connected over the cards and had tea. It still came back, and we're like 6,000 miles apart now, And that same energy came through as soon as I started shuffling the cards and trying to access information for her. And I think she had a couple moments of ahas. And she said from her perspective, it brings her solidity when I talk about the cards and what I think that, I guess, information that comes through me for her and how to help her. It sort of grounds her and makes her comfortable. So it was just, as I say, fascinating to reconnect. And as I say, we met in a metaphysical store, her store, and I ended up reading in that store quite a lot. And she was so beneficial in talking about what I do to other people, setting up appointments. I even did a little stint in the store where I was there every day, certain days of the week. And, we would take our breaks in between when there was lulls, and I'd run across to the store and get some, coffees. And she loved almond milk in her coffee. I remember that. And we'd have a little scone. It was great fun. And I miss that sharing, that giving. So she gave me friendship. She gave me a healing space to work in. She gave me encouragement and insights. And during downtime, sometimes I would give her Reiki. And she was phenomenal when working with the energy. If she needed to just tune out and accept the energy, she did. And she would sit on a little stool and I'd stand behind her. And within seconds, she was in the zone. And within a minute, she was gone. She was slumped over in the chair. And she was wherever she needed to be doing her healing. And I really felt that our connection somehow worked for her too. But I never felt that I was at the same level. But still, I enjoyed it. It was fascinating just to see how she could go off and be somewhere else. But if somebody walked through the door, bing, bang, bing, she was back in her body. And we discussed later on maybe where she went, what she did, the healing that went on. And I did find with Reiki, it did give sort of that refreshment to some people, that uplift. Others, it took very deeply into sleep. And I never felt I was the one directing it. I was just the vessel. That's all. But when our two energies connect, it is quite phenomenal. So I do consider her my high priestess. And I do enjoy, and I've never really experienced that before. Well, maybe occasionally, but not like with this person where you enter a space with her and the energy just runs through the two of you. I would get shivers sometimes running through me. I'd get heat. I'd get that feeling of, wow, I don't know where this is coming from. And she could always tap into it and figure it out. And if she read for me, if I was just sitting there, it wasn't the cards she read, it was my energy. And we'd have quite a few laughs because it's hard for me to close down the way that she does and focus on just the energy. I've got so much going through my mind at times, and I'm the type that just blurts out things, probably inappropriate things to a lot of people. But, she would say, okay, you need to be quiet. You need to just listen. I have something to say to you. Oh, okay. And when she tapped into some of my ancestors, she could see the same sort of energy running through. It'd be like, oh my God, this lady. If it was a lady, and she was talking and so forceful and needing to get her message across to me. So she sees things. I feel things. feel the energy. I have had experiences with spirits in the house and things moving and blinds going up and down when they shouldn't be, especially when I came back from visiting Britain and that area. Because I was all over gravestones and things like that, and I wasn't into Reiki at that time. I was very young. And, but I knew that energies like to follow me around. So now I'm a little bit more careful and try to clear some things away. But everybody works in energy in a different way. It does fascinate me when she can pick up and see spirits around people. I think that is so exciting. And for some reason, I'm not meant to be that way. I get words, I get music, I can put the tarot cards together and formulate things that way. I can predict within seconds if it's going to rain, thunder. Each of us have our own gifts. I'm artistic, and I bring a lot of that visualness to the tarot cards. I enjoy that. Will I get back to painting again? Since I moved here, it's been 2 years. I haven't painted a picture, which is kind of sad. But there's different avenues that we travel down. This has been a house of bringing some healing to the house. It was really in need of some TLC. And it's been 2 years. I think a lot of the healing has been done. It's a nice house as far as spiritually, it's very quiet. I never did sense anything in the house that was not happy. I guess there was one room upstairs where a kid had been that it needed a lot of physical healing in the room, I guess. And so we focused on that right at the first and cleared that up. But back to this other person again. You know, sometimes when you meet someone like that, they do leave a lasting impact on you. And because now we've sort of figured out a little bit of Facebook, we can reconnect again. She's found me and my channel, and she's now able to leave some responses. And, you know, every once in a while, if we can connect visually, because she likes that. She can text, yes. She's got all that down. I've got that down. But FaceTime is important to her. So I want to provide that from time to time for her, because we both benefited so much just by hearing each other's voices, getting back into that magical element that we two share. I can see it when I look in her face and I see her eyes and I see her lips. I've seen that face before. The energy wasn't familiar when we turned the cards over, and I would feel it that way. It's like I look at her and I know that we've done some pretty astounding things together at one time. And maybe I'll be shown that in the future. In the meantime, she connects to, as I say, my ancestors and fills me in all kinds of things. And I realized that I didn't have this on, magnification. I'm sorry about that, but this was meant to be a walk and a talk. So there's a little bit more magnification for you. The cardstock is really stiff, but they said there's no varnish on these cards. So they didn't suggest shuffling them, although I have. And I'm quite pleased that this was gifted to me from another dear friend. And for some reason, even though I've moved 6,000 miles away, we're meant to still connect. And we're going to connect. And just turning the cards over, you can probably see the energy is running through me just talking about her. And there's a certain nervousness but I don't get that same nervousness when I'm in the room with her. The energy is different. But I think I do tap into something quite powerful when I think of her. So that has been sort of my walk and my talk. And I hope you've enjoyed the cards despite them not being super close up. And maybe you've tapped into someone in this lifetime that you know you've spent some time with before, that maybe you still are meant to reconnect, explore that energy that you share. And I think that's a good card to stop on right there. So this has been a Tarocchi deck, and it is by La Scarabeo. It was a limited edition, and it did say out of 2,999 decks, this deck is 563. And I've never explored the number there. That just came to mind now. But that would be 14. And that would be like this card to me, the Temperance. Oh, that is quite nifty. I really like that. So I hope the woman who watches this video realizes it's about her. I might have to send her a little notation. And I did respect her privacy because not everyone understands the type of work that she is capable of doing, that she can tap into. And from the priestess to the high priestess, I send her love today. And I send each of you blessings and hope your day goes well.